what kind of a pedagogical experience it will give you. Then, what is the portal about? Who are all the people who are participating in developing the portal? And which are all the different domains that are getting covered? What has been the experience as of now? That means how many users, how many page views, and how we have done workshops and all these things. And we will also share with you how IIIT, as one of the consortium members, is actually building a lot of tools and managing the running of this virtual lab portal on the Amazon cloud, optimizing the usage, etc. And what kind of an architecture at a very high level we have. And okay, some of the AI tools that we have, some of the experiment development methodologies and all that. So broadly, we will give you an idea about the entire virtual lab ecosystem. And from there, I mean, if I will share with you how we will actually get into how we can actually run this entire virtual lab portal to be used by students, how you're going to record the feedback, etc. So what I will do is I'll share my screen with you, and then I will we will go ahead from there. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I'll just put it in a view slideshow mode. So virtual labs is essentially it's a portal which holds a lot of virtual experiments. And IIIT Hyderabad is one of the consortium members. It's a consortium project, and IIIT Hyderabad is one of the consortium members. So I'll share with you, what's the composition and how all it goes forward. So this agenda is a very broad agenda, but I will not be covering all of them because many of the things that are there are not necessary to be understood at a depth, or they may or may not be very useful to you. So basically, what is the need and what is the impact? What kind of analytics do we have? So that will give you a broad idea about, as they say, there's a Telugu movie which was, I don't know, most of you may be speaking Telugu, I don't know. But if you are speaking Telugu, then most of you would have seen the movie Hana Pellanta, that was by Jandhyala, one of his Brahmanandam's first movie. There is a character Kota Srinivasarao, who every time is extremely miserly, and if anybody asks him for any help, he will just lift his left hand and tap it on with the right and said, "What is there in it for me?" So every person who is talking to another person must keep that in mind. So what is it that the listener or the person who's participating in any talk or anything, what is he going to get? What is there in it for him? So that is the reason why we start with need and impacts and the broad analytics. Then we'll talk about IIIT Hyderabad's this initiative about what are the branches that are getting covered. And then we talk about what is the base, how the journey has been from 2009. 2009, this project was started by the government of India mainly to bridge the at that time existing gap in resources as well as in terms of faculty, in terms of lab equipment, and in terms of so many other aspects which were not available for experimentation. So it started there as a tool to bridge that gap, and then how we are trying to take this offering of the Ministry of Education to the various user community, that is the colleges, the students, and how the students can use it and what kind of benefits they will get. So we'll talk about all these. Some I will be spending more time, some I'll just run through. So that is the broad agenda. And after that, I will give you a demo of the actual portal and show you how one experiment, how the layout is, and how the structure is, what is the content, etc. And then I will show you one feedback form as to how it needs to be filled, and how when students are doing, they can on their own, in an online manner, record whatever they are doing or report whatever they are doing, and how you can. And I will not go too much into the how you're going to report all that data to us. Broadly, I'll just give you an indication. But all the links for everything and the total procedure, documentation, and all has been shared with Dr. Revati, and and to all the other nodal coordinators also, as mentioned in the expression of interest document. So that is broadly how the agenda is. And Virtual Labs is a Ministry of Education initiative. This is part of the NME ICT project, that is National Mission for Education through Information and Communication Technology. That is the project. Under that project, you have got many other projects also. Like, for example, SWAYAM and NPTEL and all, they're all part of the same initiative, each addressing a certain aspect of the online education. NPTEL addresses the classroom learning, and it has got experts doing courses, and it has already got integrated into the curriculum of many colleges and all that. So that is one aspect. So IM provides you a broader base and a very broad spread of different kinds of subjects. You have got learning material there, and you can learn and you can get certified. Virtual labs is about experimentation. See, experimentation should be looked at more as a pedagogy or a means to achieve a certain goal. So, as faculty, I'm sharing that with you first. That is, you see, most of you would be aware of, what are the goals of learning, which is you have different frameworks that are being used by different people in different colleges. But the most popular one is what is called as Bloom's taxonomy. See, taxonomy is nothing but a set of goals. That means at the end of any learning or education, what are the goals that must be met? And well, everybody says the syllabi is designed according to the Bloom's taxonomy's goals, etc. But I'm not too sure about it, because I don't find that kind of a depth being put into the content that is built in, and the way the content is actually getting disseminated or being used to teach. Everybody teaches it just like a classroom teaching. That means they just go and deliver. Pardon me, I mean, I'm being very transparent in the concept of that we are discussing. It has nothing to do with any of you people who are attending. So please remember that. Why I'm telling you this is, once you know what this pedagogy and what this taxonomies are, then you will be able to appreciate the position of virtual labs in the larger ecosystem of learning. So Bloom's taxonomy has got broadly, as you all know, I'll run through it just for immediate clarity. There are three aspects. One is called the cognitive aspect, another is called the psychomotor, and the third one is called the affective aspect. The cognitive part deals mostly with knowledge, understanding, how you can be creative, you can analyze a thing, and how you can synthesize different aspects of learning. So essentially, there are six levels in this. It's called the first three are called knowledge, understanding, and comprehension. These are called the lower order thinking skills. The later three, which are synthesis, analysis, and creation, they are called the higher order thinking skills. So anybody, if he wants to do well in anything, the higher order thinking skills must be nurtured right from the beginning. So any education has to nurture these things, whether it is competence building or whether it is knowledge. See, knowledge is like thin air; it doesn't stay with you. It's like catching air into your fist and expecting that it will remain there. If you take water or a solid item, it will stay. But knowledge is not like that. The global standard is that knowledge is, when you come out of the classroom, you remember only 40%. 1 week later, you remember 20%, and thus it will keep reducing. So you need to have a way by which you can retain knowledge. And unless you retain knowledge, the higher order thinking skills will not be there with you. Means you will not be able to change your learning into a skill. So this is very important in terms of the cognitive aspect of learning. The other part is psychomotor, is about the interaction between the various entities which are involved in a particular concept being implemented. That is how your hands move, how your brain signal actually tells you how the hand should move, and how you can perceive weight, how you can perceive different things. Like, for example, if you are somebody tries to put his hand into your eye, automatically your eyelids will close. But for people who have lower psychomotor ability, they may not be able to close, or they may close just when something is entering, and so they may also get hurt. So when doing an experiment, these things become very important, because you are actually using equipment and managing the whole thing. Then the third one is called the effective domain, which is all about motivation and how you get enthused. What is the way in which you get driven to do and learn and implement something, that kind of a thing. So all these three aspects, they act together. No individual can do only one at a time. All of them act together, because the human being is a holistic entity, and his operation is also like that. The way he works is also in a holistic manner, whereas some people have some aspects which are strong, some which are weak. So this is the base on which you need to understand any mode of learning, whether it is online learning, or whether it is hybrid learning, or whether it is a mixed different combination of different ways of learning and all that. All of them essentially have will impact these three things. This is what Bloom has proposed. Now, I will not go into the pedagogy part, because pedagogy essentially is about how you actually impart the teaching. Where his finding, see, in 1956, he came up with this taxonomy, which everybody is adopting. Mostly the cognitive part they're adopting. They're not worried too much about the other aspects. Then the pedagogy that he brought out in 1984, because he felt that the taxonomy was not adequately delivering the kind of effect, and it was not able to make people adequately knowledgeable. So he developed another one called, where the fundamental principle in that is called the Bloom's two sigma mastery model, where essentially it says that nothing can be taught, everything has to be learnt by the individual, and we can only test how much a person knows. Ideally, a one-on-one mentored learning is the best, which is not scalable. So this model. So we will not talk about it, but you can look at it in the net. It is available. It's a very good way of understanding the concept behind. So this much for the background that I'm creating to position virtual labs. Now, if you look at classroom learning essentially focuses on cognitive aspect. It kind of try to teach them something. You tell them this is what it is. They listen to you, they understand it, and then they start comprehending the detail. Now, how many faculty or how many students are actually able to build their higher order thinking skills depends on how much they get into the problem, and then start getting involved in the solution, and then start internalizing the whole thing. Only then they will be able to do the higher order thinking skills. So you need a methodology where people are kind of induced and enthused to get involved. Now, the physical experimentation will tell you, suppose there is there is no electrical or mechanical here, other engineerings here. But if you take, for example, but most of you would have gone through that at some point of time or the other, whether in college, school, or wherever. Let's say you want to test a motor. So when you're testing a motor, there is a braking system, so that you apply different weights and then you brake the motor, and then you see what is the kind of current that is drawn and all this kind of aspects you measure. So in this, how many people can actually dare to go and play with a 15 HP or a 20 HP motor? They cannot. And moreover, even you are learning in groups, it is generally what generally happens is that there is a hesitation on the part of people, and in a group, one person is more active, another person is less active, the other are just followers. So this group psychology also works. So the learning really that comes is that you are observing, look, you know how a motor looks like, you know how a brake looks like, and you are just taking the readings which are coming because somebody else is manipulating that. So similarly, if you are doing an electronic circuit, every time you won't have an opportunity to modify the circuit or add something into it, or remove some other part, or bring in maybe a capacitor in place of a resistor, and all those kind of things. It's not possible to do. So the questions that a person has got in his mind: if I do this, what will happen? If I do that, what will happen? Those questions that come to his mind are the ones which trigger the higher order thinking skills. They are the ones, if these people are happy with what they are able to do, their motivation goes up. That means their effective domain goes up. At the same time, since they're able to, their thought and mind is getting in, the psychomotor part also gets in. But these things are generally very difficult to do in a regular physical class where you're actually dealing with equipment. So the virtual lab is the one lab which will allow you all, which will impact all the three domains. That means the learning part, which is the cognitive part, the psychomotor part, and the affective part also. The only thing it cannot give is the touch and feel. But touch and feel is only one small aspect of the whole game. It's not. So in this background, please look at virtual labs as a way of teaching or a way of learning, whichever way. So now, so of course, here's the need. I told you already that the essential reason why we brought it in is the government of India brought it in is the inadequacy of resources, etc., in a very large set of colleges. So essentially, it's about meeting this need. It was not so much about enhancing the learning and things like that. But once we got into that, then we realized a lot of things. After COVID, a lot of colleges realized that virtual labs is really extremely beneficial to them, because at that point of time, for a period of 6 months or 8 months, that means sometime between March end onwards up to July, August, there was no way in which they could the experimentation could be done. So that is when all of a sudden the use of virtual labs has suddenly picked up and run into crores of users and many more crores of page views and etc. So the features of this virtual lab is that it is, you can use it anywhere, anytime. It is free, 24/7. You can use it on any device. If you have just a browser in it, you can use a laptop, you can use a mobile phone, you can use any other device where there is a browser. We just, everything is kind of viewable through the browser, because the entire program is actually resting in Amazon. So it is very scalable. So you don't have to worry. You can, even 1,000 people can also do training, though your physical lab can accommodate only 40 or 50. And it is cost effective because there's absolutely no cost, and it is safe because whatever manipulations you do in the experiment, they're all virtual, so they don't affect anything. So it's very safe. So it's extremely interactive because you're addressing the what if analysis. If I change this, okay, I will change this and see what happens that way. So there are some small quizzes that we have which are for self-assessment. These are essentially intended for a student to learn while he is doing the experiment, whether what he has learned he has absorbed, whether he is able to address the questions which the quiz asks him. And these quizzes are all residing on the browser. So once you move out of the quiz screen, whatever response you have given to the screen when you were on that quiz, that will be lost. So if you want to capture that, you need to take a screenshot. See, the virtual labs doesn't have an assessment framework or an assessment arm in this entire in it. So assessment per se should not be expected. It is just learning, because that was the intent. But in the next phase, we will be getting most of those. Some of these learning exercises and all that are being developed by IIT Guwahati and some of the other institutes, which will all become part of this. So,
Sorry to interrupt you, sir.
yes, please.
I have a
Yeah.
question here. Apart from building cognitive ability and motor skills, is there any credits involved in it, like MOOC courses which are offering by AICTE? Is there any credits offered by virtual labs?
No, see, at this point of time, since there is no assessment, see, suppose you are using virtual labs and you create your own questionnaire, and then you in the feedback form, like a feedback form, you just give another link to them, and the students answer that, and you evaluate it. That way, it can be done. We are developing it. See, nowadays with ChatGPT and multiple instances of ChatGPT with different contexts, you can create tools. We have now experiment development. We are doing that way only.
Okay.
But as of now, as of now, this is phase 3 that we are in. In phase 4, we will be bringing in those things also, because
Mhm.
question generation is a major thing. Second thing is question evaluation also needs a different kind of tool set. And moreover, at this point of time, everything is open source. So we actually IIT Hyderabad has already built some of these tools, but we have they need to be accepted by the overall consortium, and the ministry also needs to bring in, and we need to bring in through a certain in an organized manner. So at this point of time, if you want to assess how people are doing virtual experiments, then you can give them a quiz on your own, quiz or maybe a test paper or something which you can prepare with multiple questions, and you can give it, or you can use a tool on your own. But virtual labs does not provide that facility right now,
Okay.
but we will be bringing it in the next phase. See, the learning that students get is also quite enormous. At this point of time, it's only a self declaration by the student that he has done the experiment. And for himself to evaluate whether he has done it or whether he has learned it or not, there are multiple quizzes we have given there. For different levels. I will share that when I show you the demo. But we don't have any assessment in this. And you should also not expect that everything should be evaluated like that. See, the learning that they get in this will get reflected in the main program, main course that they're actually doing. Suppose computer science is there and you're teaching them data structures. So you teach them data structures, but when people will learn a lot when they do the data structure experiment on virtual labs, because there is a lot of opportunity for them to play. They can make changes, they can do so many other things, play around. So that will enable them to learn better. So that learning will reflect in the way they will respond to the tests and exams, and the way the student will behave when he's actually in the class. So there is a benefit. Only thing is, I don't have a tool to quantify that additional learning and give you. So for colleges to deploy it, yes, the only thing is that it is a self declaration that they make, and you can give them a participation certificate to any number. You can say if a person does 25 experiments, then I will give him a participation certificate. See, a certificate is also not it must have a value. So in the many interviews that I have taken in my earlier career, people bring lots of certificates and say they have done this, they have done that. Even NPTEL courses also, people do it. But if you ask two questions, they won't be able to answer. NPTEL has got a framework to question. But the thing is, I'm not saying that NPTEL courses are bad, but see, the intake that happens when any course is done is only when a student decides that he wants to learn. It's not a certificate that he wants, but he wants to learn. He has to learn, internalize, and absorb. So that is what Bloom's two Sigma mastery model says. And in our own traditional Indian way, you've got this, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasa. Shravanam is to listen. That means they listen in the class. Mananam is they think about it, and then they kind of repeat it in their own mind and try to absorb it. Nididhyasa is when they actually apply it, and when they actually try it out and all that, then it gets internalized. And when it gets internalized, that is when have learned what is given to them. So basically, learning with all these tests and all that you are giving, how much of it actually correlates to actual learning? So you have to look at virtual labs from that perspective right now, because we don't have assessment tools. So please don't take it as if somebody is doing something and you're going to give them marks based on this. No, you cannot do that, because see, what colleges are doing is, some colleges, if they have a 3-hour experiment time, 2 hours they are giving for the traditional method, 1 hour they are giving for virtual experiments. And if let us say 10 marks are there for the experiment, they are giving say 5 or 7 for the traditional one, and the rest of the 3 to 5 marks they are giving for virtual labs. Now it is only an arrangement, but it is not an actually evaluated and assigned or assessed grading that is happening. That is because we don't have that grading mechanism. We will get it. I mean, it's already things have already been worked out, but we will take a little time. See, we are dealing with about 2,000 experiments, and we are dealing with 13 domains. So it will all happen. There are 11 institutes who are part of this initiative. So at this point of time, whatever assessment we have, it is only for a student to assess for himself what is there. If you want, you can ask him to take a screenshot of that quiz that he has answered and give it to you. So that may be one way. So essentially what I'm saying here is that don't look at virtual labs at this point of time as something which can be evaluated, assessed, and graded. No, it's not like that. It is just a self-declaration by the student. And if you give him 25 or 30 experiments, then what will happen is Because they have done it so many times, they start developing a certain skill and an expertise and a liking for it, and learning starts to come because they can play around with it. So, a certificate which says he has done 25 experiments in a short duration, that will mean something. It will be valuable to an interviewer also. So, from that perspective, it is there. Because, see, learning is all about how you're able to use whatever you are doing, whatever you have learned, and apply it somewhere and it'll deliver results. In fact, this is one of the lacuna in today's education system, because our employability assessed over the last from 2009 on, not through virtual labs, but through other assessment tools, like Aspiring Minds and so many organizations are doing, which is certified and accepted by AICTE, is only 8 to 12%. That means if 100 students are actually passing out, today we have about 10 lakh engineering students passing out of colleges. Out of that, only 8 to 12% of them are actually able to deliver in organizations after the organization or the employer trains them. So, broadly, what I'm saying is that all this background I'm giving you just to tell you that at this point of time, don't look at virtual labs as an accessible or an evaluated or a gradable this one. Just look at it as an instrument that you are giving to students for them to learn better and play around and develop their higher order thinking skills. And your validation for their having done is their self declaration on the feedback form that they have actually done that experiment. They may just browse it, but that's okay for us because that's the only way we can see one. If he likes it, he will do it. And liking also, I mean, I don't want to get too much into detail because it's a different topic altogether. So now let's see what the impact has been. So these are the number of users from it's not January 2020 January onwards. The number of users who have used virtual labs is 19.4 million, which is about 1.9 crores. And the number of page views is about 14 crores. So it's a fairly good amount. 2 to 3 crore users are using it every year. I mean, the page views are about 2 to 3 crores every year. So the website is also quite good. The average page load time is 1.92. See the standard for page load time on any website which is either simple or not complex is 3 seconds, but we are well below the that level, 1.92 seconds, and the average session time is 7.15 minutes. That means each student is spending on a session of virtual lab usage, he's spending about 7.15 minutes, which is fairly long. It's also almost equal to about 2 to 2.5 Hindi songs. I believe this is fairly good. We are quite happy about it. Now, there are two linkages here. This is about, we have another website called, which is a VLead website. That means the Hyderabad unit, what all activities we are doing and all that, that is there in a website. That link is there. I will share this one with you. The other one is the usage summary. This is actually on Google Analytics. So whatever numbers are given here, these are all extracted from there. I think I think this may be because I have logged in with a different usage. So I just wanted to show you the graphs, etc. You can see here how the usages are. For example, these are the different institutes which I will share with you, which are the other institutes in the next screen. Um, NIT Surat, all the 6 IITs, College of Engineering Pune, Dayal Bagh, then NIT Suratkal, Amrita, all these are the participating institutes who are developing experiments year on year. And you can see here the number of page views. Like, for example, IIT Roorkee has got the highest. And in this ECE is ECE May, the digital logic design. That is the highest use. That is 32 million page views are there. You can see this here. And NIT Surat Skulls, what they are building, they also have a 22.5 million. That is 2 crore page views are there. So users, if you see here again, this is the distribution of users across different institutes. And this shows you the discipline wise users. The highest users are in electronics and communication. Computer science is a much smaller one. electrical engineering is 17.6, and civil engineering is 13.4. I don't know how many of you would think that virtual labs can actually work for non-computer science areas, but if you look at the top 10 labs, computer science will be about 8 or 9 on the list. So discipline-wise, biotechnology, civil engineering, and all that, you can see that the civil engineering is 17% page views. These are users, and this is page views. The one on the right side is page views. One on the left is users. So you can see here electronics and civil engineering are the highest. Next in order is computer science and electrical engineering and computer science. So these are the different labs I will share with you later. So these are users wise. Basic electronic lab has got 2.9 million users. I'm talking about 2020 onwards, the data. This is though the virtual labs is there from 2009. From the page view perspective, digital electronics has got 19.9. That means almost it's 2 crores roughly. 2 crore page views are there in the last 4 or 5 years. So you can see that if you look at data structures, one is zero point 0.3 million users, and data structures is 3.3 million. That means about 33 lakh users are there. So compared to digital electronics, see the simpler experiments, which are very simple, highly manipulatable, and all that. See, those are the ones which really are being picked up, and a lot of students are doing that. If you see in the users, you will find that um, virtual laboratories. I mean, digital electronics is one the highest. Then you've got analog signals, networks, then strength of materials. So fluid mechanics. These are much above what the computer science part. See cryptography, for example, it's right down. I mean, it's almost the say ninth. It is ninth in the list of priority. Software engineering is 10th. So what I'm saying here is it's very useful for non-computer science departments also, though your colleges are all focused on computer science. Of course, I'm personally, I told Dr. Revati also, I'm personally not in favor of, you know, dividing this AICTE, dividing computer science into 5 different domains, and then, everybody rushing to that. See, all computer science is a tool to do something else in some other domain. What will computer science do on its own unless it is used somewhere? See, I'm sure all of you appreciate it, but I mean, I'm just sharing my view. Please don't mind because I am quite open, and I have about 48 years of working experience. So I have worked in mechanical engineering as a mechanical engineer for 21 years. And I've worked in IT for 17 years. And last 10 years, I'm working here with virtual labs. So, in keeping that in view, I take more not so much as a process view, but more a conceptual view and how things are working in reality. I've been in industry actually doing hands-on work. So all the work that I did in TCS also, if you do an ERP implementation, you to set up an ERP, you need to know the domain. If you're setting at pharma, you need to know pharma industry. You need to know how to map all the processes. You need to know at the lowest level how the processes are going. And computer science, which is today being treated more as a tool for writing programs or instructing the machine to do something, that is only about 10 or 20% of the entire game. And now the entire education system, you have moved the whole thing to AIs, to just computer science, and left out all the basic engineering. So I have, if anybody has any objection, please tell me. I will not talk like that.
All of this staff are from computer science of engineering course.
I know that is what, no, no, I
Yeah.
know, but I'm sure they also
I think,
understand this. They also understand what I'm saying. But I'm just sharing
yeah,
my view.
understood, understood.
Because when I'm going to so many colleges, I find, I mean, you are only dealing with computer science only, but there are so many colleges which are where the non-computer science faculty are really having a lot of difficulty. They're losing jobs. They're not getting their salaries. The numbers have come down. So many things like that are there. So I mean, I felt bad about it. So anyway, I just doesn't matter.
Truly, we
This is
truly
not
like.
relevant to you, this thing, but I'm sharing my thoughts. See, I'm talking to you like I'm your friend. I'm talking to you like that, not as somebody from virtual labs talking to all of you. Okay, so I will go to the next screen. Just a minute. I think I went out of the. Um, Not the one. Sorry,
Do
I
you
had to
see?
go to the, yeah. This is the one. So I
Uh,
was going, had gone to a different this one. So this is the distribution of labs and usages. Here are the disciplines that are there on the right side. They have written 9 domains, but the number of domains are actually 13. This number is guided by some other criteria. So chemical engineering, computer science, electrical engineering, civil engineering, and all that. So you can, I will share with you when we go to the demo as to what are all the different topics in computer science that are there. Now all the newer areas, that is AI and cryptography and all this machine learning and all, they're all coming up. They're all just being built. They'll be put up into the AWS in a short while, maybe 1 or 2 months. But as of now, whatever is there, I will share with you.
so see here, if we opt computer science of engineering discipline,
Yeah.
can we get an access of all these 27 labs
Yes.
under this? Okay.
Yeah, the entire portal is open to you free.
Okay.
There's no sign in, there's no registration, nothing. Everything is
Okay.
open to you.
Okay.
Biotechnology, you can do, a computer science guy can do biotechnology,
Mhm.
or he can do electronics. For example, IoT, which I don't know, is which probably being treated as computer science part only. It's mostly ECE part, but you can go there and see chemical sciences, physical sciences, all
Sir,
these things.
in this 27 labs, some are offering from Triple IT Hyderabad and few are from IIT Gauhati and IIT Kanpur.
Right, right. That is
Ah,
true because see,
okay.
because each institute has got some experts, and
Mhm.
we normally send out a request to the institutes, the participating institutes, uh, in each subject, who whatever experiments they believe are there in the curricula of various universities, and that they would like to build experiments. We ask them to give a proposal. So based on the proposal that they give, there for each domain there is a lab development council chair. This lab development council will review the proposals, and then it will pick and it will sanction those experiments which it feels are aligned to college curricula and which are well proposed. And those are the ones which are developed by these faculty. So triple IT covers mostly, largely computer science. Then it covers a little bit of ECE and physical science and chemical sciences. Sorry, not physical, chemical
Mhm.
sciences. It also covers. So like that, IIT Bombay covers some, NIT Suratkal covers mechanical and civil and all that. So different institutes are covering different distinct. Dialbag or Dialbag most to a large extent covers
Sir, here
mechanical.
we can get an access of all the labs. Then why Amrita University is offering another EOI for
See,
machine
Amrita, no, no,
learning?
Amrita is an institute which was a pioneer in developing all these platforms and developing all experiments, etc. But then they also became part of the consortium of the Ministry of Education, and what
Mhm.
for them, all those experiments are available on the portal free.
Okay.
Okay, so there are other people also. For example, NIT Suratkal has got an organization. It has jointly formed with IIT Madras alumnus, and it's called V Labs. So that is a paid setup in which they take faculty, they train them how to build experiments, they train students how to build experiments, and those students can build those experiments and then give it, and NIT Suratkal will host it either on virtual labs or anywhere else. So there are, each institute is hand apart from virtual labs, they may be doing experiments otherwise also. IIT Bombay does its own experiments which are also available free.
I mean, exclusively Amrita is asking for the separate expression of interest
So
document from
every
stock
no no
exchange.
every see expression, this process is common to all. See, it's
Okay.
about who reaches out to which institute and who picks it up.
Mhm.
Typically, AP and Telangana, and
Mhm.
some parts of Orissa and some parts of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu is where we cover. It's most, but we are mostly in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh.
Okay.
So similarly, Suratkal covers Kerala and Karnataka. Amrita covers Tamil Nadu and some part of Andhra. And there is no hard and fast restriction that you can You cannot get into another state or anything. If somebody approaches us, we do. Many
Mm.
institutes from here have used the support ID, and they have the support ID goes to the email ID goes to Delhi. So
Okay.
Delhi is serving many of them. So that is, so between us a small amount, 10-15% of the colleges move this way, that way. See, we strictly can't say this is not right, though I feel it is not correct, because you have to give a certain area in which we can work comfortably without worrying about. It's not a rat race that I go and ask you and somebody else asks, and then it becomes difficult for you also. So we
True.
don't want that, but then the consortium does not want to restrict like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it may happen sometimes. Anyway, you are with us. There are some in Vizag which we have served for a long time. But suddenly, one of the students of NIT Suratkal, he became a senior faculty there. He wanted to go and work with NIT Suratkal, so he went away. I mean, I can't go and say, no, no, you can't take this. We can't fight within ourselves, right? So that
Yes.
is there. So if Amrita is asking, well, I would say you be with us. We will work with you.
Yes.
If you decide you want to go there, I mean, strictly speaking, I
No,
cannot
no,
say
no,
anything
no,
to you.
no,
Your
no.
no, no. I'm just, since this
Yeah.
question that you asked, I'm trying to.
Yeah, my question is in the given list in the virtual labs website given list, I found IoT virtual lab that is offered by, I mean, developed by Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeeth.
Yeah.
So do we need to approach
No,
them
no,
or?
no, 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 no,
Uh,
no, no.
uh,
All the lab may be developed by anybody, but if it is there
uh,
on the portal, you can directly use
sure,
it.
sure, sure.
So there is nothing, because see, their focus largely is on
Mm,
biotechnology and biomedical
mm,
engineering.
true,
All
true.
those topics there, then some chemistry and all that, they're good.
Mm,
That has been their strength for a long time. For
okay.
example, one of the faculty of Amrita is
Mm,
a co-lab LDC chair for
mm,
computer science,
mm,
whereas Professor Venkatesh Chopela, who's my
mm,
professor, he
mm,
is the lab development council chair.
mm,
So both together are dealing with computer science,
mm,
and biotechnology is largely Amrita, because they are
mm,
that's their traditional area. So there is no such restriction. Everybody is free. You whatever is there on virtual labs is open to everyone.
mm. Okay, okay,
There are no restrictions on anything. Okay.
okay.
Yeah. So let me go to the next page. So these are approximately the different experiments that we have covered in different phases. In 2009 to 2014 was phase one, where mostly it was focused on experiment development. Phase two onwards, we moved into we put everything onto Amazon, and then later we started developing. Every year we are developing 300, 200, 300 experiments and adding them on depending on how the curricula is going. So in this latest phase, we are going to develop roughly about uh, Hyderabad is going to develop about 200 experiments and post them. So like that, we are going to develop totally about 1380 experiments on the whole. Okay, so different institutes, who is doing how many and all is listed here. It's actually not for you, but I'm just showing it to you purely for you to appreciate that everybody is contributing. 11 institutes are contributing to give this. And when you become virtual labs member, you are, I mean, a nodal center, you are, all these people are open to you for interaction with you. That is the advantage. Now, so, okay, which are the different subtopics that are there are listed here? But more than looking at it here, you can actually look at it at the in the actual portal, because there anything that you want, you can just go in and take a look. You see, computer science, a lot of new things are also being coming up. So we are also coming up some of the things which we are coming up with. Some only are added here, like for example, you have psychological processes, and then you have problem solving, pattern recognition. Then you got programming with Python is a new one which we have added, because everybody is now crazy about that, because all your AI and these things use more of Python programming. So we have this lab also has been brought in. Um, so that's this is just a listing I just gave you. Electronics may what is there. So, for example, VLSI is there, and wireless communication. Anyway, this you would know when you look at the actual portal. That is what is relevant. So we have chemical engineering and physical sciences, that is talks about spectroscopy and molecular interactions and quantum chemistry, etc., etc. And you have civil engineering, which is all very basic topics, hydraulics and fluid mechanics and all that. So this is just a listing of what is there in it. So virtual labs team in Hyderabad is the what we call as VLEAD, the virtual labs engineering architecture division, and we do multiple things like we manage the entire cloud, we manage the UI design, we define the UI and how the UI should be used, a common UI for all. Because when it started, everybody used their own ways of representing something, but we wanted to make all that common so that the moment you look at the screen, you know that this is, and it should also be with optimum usage. That means less number of clicks and more flexibility and greater understanding. So, whatever are the UI principles, then we do the DevOps and the system administration, etc. Because it's all managing the cloud system. So we do the lab development process and the review and the process of how you can. We develop a lot of tools for developing experiments. So today we have tools, develop tools in such a way that once you have a proposal and feed the proposal into the tool, it will automatically develop all the different aspects of the experiment, and everything. The entire code is residing in GitHub, and anybody can see that, and if they feel that some change is required, they can actually create a branch, and then they can put in there what they think is right. Then the lab developer at some point of time will look at that and then see if he feels it is relevant, then he will merge it into the main experiment code. So all this is there. So the central analytics is all about collection and reporting. That means how you gather data, for example, all your feedback forms, how they all come together, and all that kind of all the tools for that. There's a workshop tracker which also I've shared with Dr. Revati. That is about it is a single repository for your institute will be there for each one. Kiet will have one, Kiet W will have one, and Kiet 2 will have one. Each of you will have your own code numbers. You enter the code over the years, whatever you have done, everything will be visible in a single point. This one. Then automation and scripting. Suppose you want the tools required to host the experiments that are done. See, I'm just trying to give you an idea about though all these are not relevant to you, but you should understand what kind of an organization you're working with. For example, many of these activities are not done by Amrita, but we are doing all that because we have taken on ourselves the responsibility of managing all these aspects. So then we have the scripting. That means when you want to host an experiment, the scripting that is required in the automating or the hosting process. Then how performance. We when we started off in phase two, uh, the we had put every lab into one separate virtual machine called one virtual lab per one one virtual machine per lab. So it became extraordinarily expensive, and usage pattern was not in line with that. So the cost of hosting it had become 1,50,000 rupees per month. So we optimized all that based on how usage is happening, what are the usage patterns, etc. Keeping the analytics in mind, then we have been able to bring down the cost to about 30,000. I mean, the money is not the issue, but of course we are paying in the sense that virtual labs is paying. It has nothing to do with you or you are in no way impacted. But what I'm saying is, I'm just giving an example of how we are able to optimize many things. So all technology research, all your content authoring tools, and all are being developed by us. Of course, the link here is to show you. We can click and show you, but there's not that much time in that. So this has been the journey that we have had 2009 to 2025 at different times. How we grew, how we initially started building the layout and the foundations of the virtual labs. That was from 2009 to almost 2014 or so, and from 14 onwards we started building and also managing platform, and also doing internships and things like that, and then enhancing the technologies, etc. In phase 3 we expanded. Mostly it was focused on bringing in more and more experiments and changing the or enhancing the overall architecture. Phase 3 is totally focused on lab development, and that means newer labs we are adding, because curriculum is changing everywhere constantly, right? So we are adding a lot of new things, and therefore also the tools and the support and the the mechanisms to build those, all those things we have worked on. So it is showing here. This is so it's a journey now for the next phase that is starting from 2026 April onwards. It will be phase four, for which we have where we are trying to build a lot more new methodologies, tools, evaluation, a faster building and question generation automatically, and so many other things that we are doing. Most of it is actually getting into the generative AI kind of methodologies we are bringing in. So these are some of the tools. I don't know whether it's worthwhile going to through all this. Um, okay, so I briefly explained all that. So we are trying to, this national question repository is being worked on, the question that Dr. Revati asked just now. Right now it is MCQ based, but we are going to build this national repository, and all of you faculty will be contributing to that also, because though generative AI will generate a lot of questions and we can use those tools to generate questions, but beyond a point, there's certain, when you want to go to the higher level of variety, then you would need some faculty or somebody to be involved. So you would seek the help of various users. And this is the high level architecture of the cloud infrastructure that we are using right now. So you have the clients out here on the right, the green big one, and then we have the compute layer where we are actually interacting with the dynamic database and the EC2 instances, etc. So essentially, these are the key transformations from servers to serverless. That is leveraging more on AWS Lambda. Then the processes and other things are automated, and code configuration, that is configuration driven deployments. Basically, it's to optimize the entire thing. How can make things easier? And we are also coming up with a centralized intelligence, which will help us to understand which direction we should go in and things like that. So overall reduction in costs and significant satisfaction and scalability. See, the scalability has become huge now. You see, after COVID, the numbers have run into crores. Earlier, before that, we were doing mostly through workshops. You were making self declarations, and then those declaration numbers we were taking as what we did. So, but now we are using Google Analytics for doing to capture the page views and the users, which is exactly not the same as capturing regular usage of, but there is a correlation, a linear correlation between the two of them. So that's a fairly good reflection of what data is actually happening, and whatever the Amazon captures all the usages, whoever is using, wherever they're using. The only thing we don't have is demographics, and since we don't have single sign-on, we are unable to capture demographics except location. So we are modifying all that. Okay, so I'm not getting too much into this. So these are some of the events we have every year. What is called as an R&D showcase in Triple IT, where we also showcase the virtual lab work, and then we have this regular process of proposal writing and developing and doing the workshops. We also host some conferences. Now we are also using we are doing research in virtual labs. So I for myself have roughly about 6 to 7 papers in the last few years, which is coming out of the outreach data that has come out of various nodal coordinators and nodal centers using data, and some of them are very significant in terms of we we do a lot of surveys to find out what the views of students and faculty are. So recently we did one example I'm giving you. Recently we did a survey in which we 450 students and 55 faculty were involved from 5 different colleges from both the states of Andhra and Telangana, and we found that it was a fairly you know exciting response. And then we found that among the 3 modes of learning, which is classroom learning, virtual lab learning, and learning through physical experimentation, the 50% of all the participants felt that there is a 40% contribution that is coming from virtual labs, and all the three three blooms taxonomies aspects. That means basically there is a good amount of acceptance among students in virtual labs. Maybe it will take them some time. See, 10 to 8 to 12 experiments is considered the base minimum number of experiments that anybody should browse or do for them to develop an opinion into this. This is also an outcome of the research we have done through virtual lab workshops and things like that. And we have published both of all these things in papers, like T4E, we have made a publication. So all these are kind of lot of understanding has come through that. We do hackathons, we do internships, we support conferences, etc. So this is broadly the overall picture. So the tools that we are looking at is generative AI and platform modernization, then the analytics tools which are going to help. So it's all about user and repo customization and UI UX being modified, plagiarism validation, programming interfaces with code correctness, all these kind of tools that we are using. Mostly we are developing using the latest technologies which are coming in. And generative AI is going to be one of the important thing which is going to help us in not only developing experiments but also in the generative AI, the quiz creation and content correction or content enhancement and simulation, etc. Okay, so our focus area is basically working on tools, and then the impact is to see that more and more students use this. And I can assure you that doing virtual labs is a lot more effective than doing physical experiments from the perspective of learning higher order thinking skills. See, all of them go hand in hand. None of them are separate. For computer science, of course, everything is virtual, but the way we are doing virtual labs is also again different. So I will share with you. I'll give you a demo. So of course, this is the outreach. That means we have nodal coordinate centers everywhere. This is just to kind of build a close, focused community. And we have a virtual lab, a WhatsApp, WhatsApp community, and everybody shares the photographs of various this thing there. If they have any questions, then I share any new things that I bring in. All these kind of things. It's an exchange. It's a common exchange open to everybody. So that is one thing that we are using. And certification we have introduced right now. Then we have an ambassador program. We are two or three people who are experts and who have been involved in education for a long time. A lot of connects who are respected by colleges, people from the industry who are respected. Right now, we have about two such one. One is Dr. Shankar from JNTU Anantapur. He has been involved for a long time with virtual labs, and he has been involved for a long time with IEEE in terms of education. So he's not only respected by a lot of colleges, so he also helps us to proliferate our portal. Then we have another person who works for a private company, but who's got a tremendous focus on college education. He goes to colleges and then he conducts various learning courses. See, there is a lot of gap between college education and the industry requirements, because industry wants competence and colleges focus on knowledge. So there is a gap between these two. So how to bridge it, the industry also does not know. So does not know means I'm saying from the experience that I have had working with industry. So this bridging is calls for people like Dr. Vidyasagar, who will actually go to colleges, help them, help students to learn through various internships and all that, and that kind of initiative. So he is also another ambassador. So we have some one or two other ambassadors. The former vice president of TCS, she was heading the mainframe COE, and she is a consultant for so many. She's a retired person, Dr. Hema Gopal. So some of these people like that. So we take the help of some of these experts to kind of propagate or whatever you may call it, to help take this concept to a level where people are willing to use it and benefit from it. Okay, these are all the targets. We have always been exceeding the targets. So this is just this thing to show you that these are the numbers that Hyderabad has been doing. And these are some of the voices of various people from various colleges, NCs, etc. So I really have nothing. So, for example, this Kallam Harinath Reddy, he has uh, he has given this college has given us roughly about in one semester 1,30,000 usages he has given, whereas our target is only 8,000. He has given that because there's a tremendous amount of interest that is there. And St. Anne's College, it's not here, but St. Anne's College in Hyderabad, which is basically a science college, they have given us 85,000 usages in one semester. That's the rate at which they go. So basically, just to tell you that there are a lot of people who are using these to a lot of benefit. Dr. Lokesh from MGIT in Hyderabad, he has developed his own tool to gather all the usages and all that, and which department, how many people are doing, which experiments are being. So all the analytics is built in. So he doesn't use our feedback form, but he uses his own tool, and he has shared the tool with us. He's willing to share it with everybody, but because of inconsistency in the technologies that are being used, we are not taking that. But he uses, so his interest in that. So I'm just kind of citing out the interest that people have. I think I've taken more than an hour. So, okay, so I will not get into this. So, right now, 237 colleges is what we have touched, 45,000 participants, that means students essentially. So, these were roughly over the last couple of years. This is how it was. And this is typically how a participation certificate would look like. There would be virtual labs and triple IT here. And here will be on the right side will be your college logo. So down below, your head of your institution will sign, and on the left, so it will be a joint certificate that you will be giving to students, which is a very attractive thing for everybody. So when you decide, my suggestion is that instead of you, I mean, you give it regularly as assignments and all that, but if you give different slots, like for example, like the way you do a hackathon, for example, you say from so and so date to so and so date, so and so problems, all you'll give a problem and ask them to work on that. So like that, you can say from so and so date, say these 10 days, all those who do more than 30 experiments, we will give you a certificate. If you do that, what will happen is there is a lot of focus in the student's mind because he's targeting a certificate, number one. Number two, because he's repeating the same kind of same process multiple times on different topics, his ability to learn and absorb and internalize will grow. If you give it as a single assignment each for each subject, each topic, so over the entire semester you will probably cover about 20, but that focus will not be there because he will only look at each experiment with a gap of maybe week or 10 days. Every time he'll be looking, so it's kind of becomes a burden on him. But if you do it this way, see, he is targeting a result and therefore he's going to do. And because he is doing it in such a focused manner, his absorption and internalization of whatever he is learning, the methodology and everything will become very high. So it will be a much greater contributor to his learning and his skill enhancement. Because see, our finding is that unless a student does 8 to 12 experiments, see, in anything that new that comes, if virtual labs is new for you now, immediately you will not develop an interest in this. Okay, it is good, all right, but when you get into the detail of actually doing, then you will have many challenges. So what you would also, there'll be a resistance in many of you to take it. But if you take it forward, there is a three-step cycle. It's called the arousal choice cycle, it is called. So the arousal cycle is initially when you start doing something, you don't like it. So you go through if you continue because of a mandate or a force or anything like that, then there's an interest that gets aroused in you. You become more familiar with the entire program. And when you become more familiar with the program, you start aligning with the concept that is there in that tool. And you reach a stage where you will make up your mind, and you're ready to make a choice whether you're going to use it or not. So this phase is called the arousal phase. The choice phase is a small period during which you're going to use the same tool or the new thing, wherein you'll take a call whether you're going to continue to use it or not use it. That is the choice phase. And once you start using it at the end of the choice phase, the third phase is called the maintenance phase, and you will continue to use because it becomes natural to you. So that is why I said 8 to 12 experiments for virtual labs is the number to cross the choice phase. So this is what we, over 20,000 students, we did this study when we came here. So again, this is some of the institutes who are been with us for a long time. See, what happens is, because this is not there in the curriculum, because it is not mandatory for people to do, so there is a lot of resistance. And some colleges, for some time, when a certain nodal coordinator is interested, after that he is not interested. So if he goes away, there is the new principal's attention will not be there because it's not in the curriculum. So we are asking you to include it into your curriculum, and many colleges are doing it, particularly autonomous universities or autonomous colleges and all. They're doing, deemed universities, they're doing. So, for example, we have got only two colleges till now who have stayed with us for 6 years, and 4 years many colleges have stayed, 3 years some, but the average time across all across India is about 2.5 years. That is because of lack of consistency in the people who are working there. Now, of course, attrition will always be there. People will leave, come and go. We cannot stop that. But the institute, the academic council of the institute should accept it. The board of studies should accept it and make it a part of this thing. And you should use this to enhance the skills of students. So that is really what I'm saying. So this is just to give you an idea. See, I've shared with you a lot of things we I normally don't share with students. You're all faculty, so I'm sharing it with you because you'll be able to appreciate what I'm saying much more. If there are any questions, I'll take it. Otherwise, I'll go for a demo.
I'm clear from my end. Sir, any questions from your end?
From my end, from your all the rest
Sir,
of the
good evening,
members.
sir.
Yeah,
All the
please.
rest advantages. Yeah, please.
Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Thank you, Ravi Shankar, sir. Given all the inputs what you mentioning us, so this is a wonderful opportunity for learning the new things and learning of new labs also. Sir. As you're saying that the not only virtual labs is related with CSE, we can do all the domains of also. This is the first time we got the clarity on that. Thank you so much for that, sir. So in that, what are the labs you're mentioning that if you want to add on any experiment, can we add those things, sir? Or else we have to follow the what was the task was mentioning in that. If we are
Yes.
affiliated colleges, how we can do that?
At this point of time, see, every PI, that means every institute that is out of these 11 consortium institutes, is using their own way policy. Professor Venkatesh is not in favor of opening it up to all colleges, so he is only restricting it to our triple IT faculty only. But we will be also introducing this because he has approved. I have pushed him to do that, and as the outreach manager, because see, we need to generate some interest in you also to become part of this. So we are, and moreover, you are also looking for internships. You are looking for some kind of a participation in all this because all those things are required, and you need to also do internships for students. That's also part of your college's mandate. So he has agreed to do that, but we will be introducing it in the next phase because I need to develop all the infrastructure internally. People who will see the methodology is there with us. You can give a proposal, the proposal will be approved, but after that, you will have to have your own people to develop these. Maybe you can take a team of 5 or 6 students. Some people will help you in developing the content. Some people will build the IT part of it. Some people will validate it and see that the experiment that you have built is working right or not. So you can involve students in this development, but the faculty who proposes will become the owner of that experiment. But when you are doing it, that giving you an idea of how the process is to be implemented, imparting knowledge of different tools, then monitoring what you're doing and verifying whether what you have done is in line with our the norms that we have. So we need a small organization structure because if I open it up, there are many colleges who will come up. So we will have, let's say, 20 colleges or 30 colleges, each with about 5 or 6 students. So a huge number that I have to handle, and every student can be given a 6 month or 5 month internship. It can be given jointly by virtual labs as well as this, or virtual labs can give an internship, or you can give because ultimately internship according to AICT norms has to be approved by the college. It's not about it's not necessarily from an industry, it could be from anywhere, but the college is the only one who's authorized to say that this work done by so and so is actually an internship and that you approve it. So it can be anyway. So we will do that. So we need the infrastructure to handle all these people, the questions. It will become more like a another development shop. So we, at this point of time now, since we are going to have to renew this virtual labs thing in April, we have given the proposal. It will come through. Government will definitely do it because it's like NPTEL. They cannot withdraw from anything, so it will go through. Only thing is, the we can build the team only after the approval comes. So we are waiting for that, and we will be opening up entire areas or domains for building new experiments. And we want experiments to be built by colleges because, see, you understand. See, the colleges are also different varieties. I did my post graduation. I did my MTech in IIT Madras. But today, if I look at any of the some of the content that is being built by IIT Madras, I mean, I find it difficult also because things are changing, and certain institutes can students can handle more complex content, but majority of the colleges cannot handle, the students cannot handle very complex content. It's nothing about capabilities and all that, but that's how it is. The tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 colleges and all that, right? So we would like all tier 1, tier 2, 2 3 and all to build this experiment so that it is more in line with the way they would understand it. So we will introduce it in the next phase. That means after April of next year. Please continue to be nodal center with us, and we will open it up.
Sir,
Yeah,
So thank you so much, Ravi Shankar, sir. Thank you.
yeah,
sir, good evening, sir.
yes, sir.
This is Professor Ramkiran, Dean Kite Group, sir. So,
Yeah,
before performing the virtual experiment,
yeah.
what type of mentoring does a student get while learning with the virtual experiment, sir? First one.
So I will give
And
you in the demo. You will see that each
yes,
experiment has got six pages. First one is the learning objective. Second
yes, sir.
one is the theory that is related to the experiment. Then
Yes, sir.
next is the procedure that you need to the step-by-step procedure. Next one is going to be the actual simulation, which is like doing the experiment, and then there will be a quiz after that. So you
Yes,
can
sir.
move back and forth, back and forth. You can take different quizzes and see whether you are actually. So it's a very self-contained learning management system. Each experiment is a learning management system in itself. You will see it when I show it to you.
Yes, sir. Sir, after practicing the experiments, virtual experiments,
Yeah.
what type of practice has the student should do while learning from virtual experiment? That is relating to mini projects or some coding simulation. Because our college is an emerging college, so how can he apply for mini projects? Any mentoring for mini projects, coding simulations by
Ramkiran, sir,
learning from the
sorry,
experiment?
sorry to interrupt you. You will get to know all this after virtual demonstration.
Yes.
Um After this
Yeah.
questionnaire,
So
there's
we'll take
going
the
to
rest of the
be,
questions after the demo.
yeah,
Yeah.
please, please.
So
Thank you.
I'll just move to the website. Okay. vlab.co.in. That is the, if you're in front of your system also, you can open it, or on your mobile also. vlab.co.in. You see this person here, which I'm pointing out. He is Professor Anjan Bose. He's a professor of electrical engineering at IIT Delhi, but right now he's the director of IIIT Hyderabad in IIIT Delhi. So he is the main person who's, and the person standing next there is Venkatesh. Venkatesh is our IIIT Hyderabad's professor of computer science. So he is the PI or the head of virtual labs from IIIT Hyderabad. So like that, this man is from NIT Surathkal. He is the PI there, and some of them some I don't know because they're quite an old picture. So this is the website. You can see it's a Ministry of Education project under the NMEICT. So this has got this is the repository, or this is the portal through which you can access all the different experiments. So you can see here it's all the information about it. There's an outreach portal which will tell you about, what are all the different what are the metrics which are there. Nodal centers is number of nodal centers across. We have 1882 nodal centers across the country. These are colleges who are interested in using virtual labs and reporting a definite amount of usages. So as of now, these are all, most of these figures are workshop statistics. These are, see, when you're doing, you're using an experiment. For example, now it's not a workshop. I'm not capturing what you are doing if you're doing an experiment, but the portal is going to capture the portal database that you have logged in. You means from some IP address or some parameters will be captured, but your name and all is not there because there is no sign in. So from the workshop ones, where there will be an attendance sheet now that Revati Garu will take from you. So that attendance sheet will, if that is submitted and I make an entry into this portal, that will get captured in this user strain 16L, what you are seeing there. Then workshop. This is a workshop because when you are going to say so many students attended and they did all these 15 experiments and all that, the feedback form when you fill up, then that will add up to the number of workshops and the number of usages. So these are all workshop generated usages. They are not there are so many more usages which happen directly, which are not recorded anywhere. So that is getting recorded in Amazon and it is getting recorded in our portal database also. So this is only, these are the self-declaration declared this one, whereas that is with the usage. Only thing is we are unable to tie them down to a particular person, particular college, because we don't have a sign-in. So from next phase onwards, we're going to have a sign-in. Okay. So these are the basic, that means number of users, nodal centers, anyway, you are one, so we don't talk about that. Number of participants, which are users trained, number of workshops. That means you are not going to do everything all on one day, right? So you may have 10-day slots within which you are doing, or you may have different assignments, or you may during a month when you are doing, you just give one date in a month and say this is around this date, whatever was done is one workshop, like that you're going to say. So those workshops you will tell us. Usages are how many experiments are done by each individual. So which means if 10 people do 10 experiments each, 10 into 10, that is 100. If one person does one experiment, one usage, like that. Essentially, it is person usages. If you are all used to software estimation, you will understand the software effort, which is how many usages are there per, how many, say, how much of effort is being put in to build something. Let us say you are going to build a UI, how much effort. So you're going to say so many people working for so much time, for so many hours. So number of hours into number of people, it becomes the, if you add it up, it will come to the total effort that goes in. So which is person hours or person days or person years. So exactly like that is person experiments. Usages are nothing but person experiments. Now this is a broad map which is showing, different clusters. These are the participating institutes. This, for example, the one I'm showing here. This is IIT Bombay. This is Hyderabad. Then this is Delhi. And so different regions, they have kind of tried to put, this is probably Amrita and Surat Kal together. So broadly, this is how the spread is. And I'll tell you from the usages, about 10% of the usages are coming from overseas users, which though this is not intended for them, it's there on the net. And therefore, let me also tell you that the number of virtual labs like that are like ours, which are, some are chargeable, some are university centric, some are PET is there, Labster is there. There are so many other labs like Amrita has got one. There are over 100, 150 such portals, each focusing on something different. We are focusing mostly on engineering colleges, and science, of course, is there. We want to now stretch to polytechnics also, though our experiments are strictly speaking not suitable for polytechnics, because polytechnics is more of level 4 process implementation. So our experiments don't suit. They need to go much lower in detail. So this is so now if you go, if, I'll go back to the portal again. So let me go back to the portal, main portal. So these are the participating institutes. If you want to see here, so these are all the institutes. IIT Kharagpur, Roorkee. You have seen all those names, right? It's like this. So then again, I go back to the. So I'm not NMEICT website. This is contact us. This is home, etc. If you go back again to home, so this is where it is. So here is the broad areas. That means these are the different domains like that are there. For example, since you're computer science centric, I'm clicking on computer science. So these are all the list of experiments. This is the list of labs. Actually, a lab is a subdomain. That means a set of experiments, about 8 to 12 experiments in each subdomain. For example, artificial intelligence lab 1, lab 2 is there. So there are artificial intelligence has got, let's say, if you go here, if you look at this policy iteration, value iteration, Q learning, all these are different experiments. There are 8 experiments in this. So like this, each of them will have different experiments in that, and you can choose by going there. So you got artificial neural networks, computational linguistics, computer forensics lab, computer graphics, computer organization, and then computation organization and architecture, computer programming lab. See, these programming labs will have an IDE, but the others don't have, because see, this is not a this is teaching the concept basically. It's not about actually doing the experiment. I mean, actually writing code. No, this doesn't. So if you want to use, for example, some of them like that, then you need to have a separate IDE and ask them to do. This is teaching the concepts of computer science. So computer science actually, in my view, is a very it's a very abstract science where a lot of abstraction is required. And nowadays, most colleges, I'm not talking about your colleges, most colleges have focused more on the programming angle of that. So, for example, IT is there, it focuses more on programming. But real computer science is got programming is only an instrument to do some small activities. But it's fundamentally more about the different concepts that are there, how the nature of things, how do you abstract things which happen, and how that abstraction can be understood and managed and related, and that's the kind of thing it is. For example, data structures, it's a way in which you are ordering a set of data, and there are so many different ways about it. It's not about if you just execute that, or the execution is not so much of a focus there. The focus is what is the concept. In merge out, what is the concept? In bubbles out, what is the concept? So how is it actually happening? And the how this the choice of a data structure, that means the algorithm, the data structure algorithm that you use, how is it going to impact the operation of the larger program? That means how much time, what kind of resource load is there. These are the kind of aspects that are more the concern of computer science rather than programming itself. But today everybody is running after Python programming, this, that, and all. AI also. AI is what all algorithms you're talking about. So instead of worrying about algorithms, people worry more about the language that you're going to use to write programs. So sorry, just the Internet of Things, for example, it is shown under computer science only here. It is Amrita's. So don't worry about who has built it. See, it's just these are all this is a logistics part. See, for example, I don't have a capacity to build in 3 years or 4 years. I can't build more than IIT can't build more than 200 experiments. So there are more experiments to be done. Somebody else will opt for it. So that is there's Python programming here. There's Python programming with advanced topics, soft computing tools, speech recognition, and all that is there. There are many others which are going to be added now, which are in the process of expert review and the process of hosting and all that stuff. So fairly wide scope is covered here. Uh, so you can choose from anyone. So let us take a look at how it works. I normally like to go for data structures because it's something which everybody would have done at any level, and it's a very fundamental concept for everybody. So this is broadly the structure of how the UI looks like. So the first page will talk about this is for the entire lab. So in the entire lab, you have an introduction that's saying that what is it that this lab actually focuses on. It explains the whole thing. Then what is the objective? What is the learning objective of this entire lab? At the end of doing this, all the experiments in this lab, what is it that you will learn? Okay, so here it is present a visual animation of data structures, allow students to interactively execute algorithms in these data structures, and allow students to interactively compute the cost of using these data structures, the different algorithms. These are the this is the learning objective. That means at the end of it, you should be able to do these. You should be able to visually you should be able to imagine the data structure. You should be able to execute the algorithm, and then you should be able to make a choice from the cost perspective, which is essentially, when I say cost, it means resource and time and things like that. How does Google achieve such a low search time? Are they using any of these data structures to order the data? And then that ordered data, are they executing the search, or what is it? Are these structures being used by them? Are they available to us in all this, in our normal study program? These are questions that you must know. So here's the list of different experiments. Bubble sort, merge sort. This data structure one, this lab, which is a subdomain. With data structures is more, but we'll have data structures two, which will have other experiments. So bubble sort, merge sort, heap sort, quick sort, depth first search, breadth first search, then tree travel, binaries, search trees, stacks and queues, infix posts. All these are part of that polynomial arithmetic using linked list, etc. So these are all the different experiments that are there, sorting, and here are the searching algorithms. So like this. So you can choose anyone. Let's say you choose, then in the common things that are provided is who are the target audience for this, UG, who are them, in PG, who are there, and what is the course alignment. That means which universities curriculum these are all aligning with. It doesn't mean that it is not aligning with other ones, but when this was made, these are the two university syllabi against which they validated it. See, data structure is such a common, such a fundamental thing that every university it will be aligned with. Then you can give a feedback in terms of what your experience is. You can share your experience. There is a link given here. So this link will actually allow you to share. I won't stay too long on this place, because it's taking time, I think, to. So then here, who are the partners who have worked on this? So these are all the partners. So it's not really relevant that way. So now let's go to the list of experiments. How is each experiment structured? So essentially in the same manner, but this data structures is actually, each data structure experiment is actually dividable into three smaller experiments. Because see, bubble sort, if you see, there's a bubble sort, there's a optimized bubble sort, and there is a analysis of bubble sort that can be done. But fundamentally, what everybody learns is essentially bubble sort alone. Directly, the base algorithm you will learn. So this is the aim. That means, again, learning objectives are written out here. Then overview is about, we have introduced some videos by students, because students understand students better. So for bubble sort, to explain the core concept, here, are you able to hear?
Yes, sir. Our voice is not there, sir.
So, so this is the overview. Then there's a recap again, where there will also be a, an explanation of all this, and then You can go to a pre-test, which will allow you as a beginner or an advanced person to go through this test and understand what your level of understanding is, and use that as a basis for using to learn from the core experiment. If you look at bubble sort, so till now it is a common thing for all of them. Now in bubble sort, as there are three different concepts that are being given to you. One is bubble sort itself, other is optimized bubble sort, third is the analysis part. So each is, if you ask me, each is one experiment in itself. So it is a very heavy experiment, which the faculty can decide how you would want to take it forward. So in a bubble sort, again, the set of pages are like this: aim, which is about learning objective. Then there's a concept which will tell you about, again, there's a video, and below the video you also have a theoretical explanation. You can read it also. Then there is an algorithm which will tell you what is the algorithm, how does a bubble sort execute any ordering. So again, there is a video to help you understand, because it's very core. Then demo. That means if you look at this is a set of numbers, and there are three buttons here: start, reset, and pause. So there is also one more, which will be the speed at which you are executing. Suppose you are just learning and you're not very fast in picking up what is there. You can reduce the speed. So if you start it, it will automatically execute the program and keep telling you what it is doing. The observations, they will tell you what it is doing. Now, these are set of numbers: 83, 25, 18, 95, 79, like this. They are an unordered set of numbers. So now if you press start, it will start executing. It's executing on its own, right? So it is going slow. Suppose you want it to go fast, because for you to observe and understand, it may take time. Suppose you already know it, you do it fast. It will keep doing. Every time it is telling you what it is doing, whether it is swapping or whether it is not swapping, or what it's telling, the comparison, the swapping, and all the operations are getting recorded here. So it has done 87. At the end of it, will tell you what are the total number it has done. So it is running the bubble sort algorithm to order the entire list. Suppose I pause it, then it will. You can see how many comparisons have been done, how many swaps have been done, etc. So if you play, it will continue. If you want to reset, it will go back to another set of numbers here in a different order. So basically, if you run this a few times, you will understand how it is doing. How it is comparing two side-by-side numbers and deciding whether and moving the higher one to the right side and moving the lower one to the left side. So this is the basic algorithm of bubble sort. So this is what it is showing now. You can go back here and you can go to a practice. So this is something that the individual student has to do. So if let's say, if he wants to start doing, so he's seeing 78 and 19. Now what should he do? Should he swap or not? So he says swap. It will say correct. Now here 78, 39. Should he swap? If you say swap, then you say next, it will say incorrect. So it will keep telling you, it will guide you every time, step by step. So you can reset the whole thing. So by doing this a couple of times, the student understands, and because he's also doing it himself. So then there is an exercise which he is asked to do. Start, next, swap, undo, reset. Here also, if you see, for example, here, do you want to swap? Yes. So it is saying number of iterations. Then go to next. Do you want to swap? No, right? So you say next. So this way you keep playing with it. So it will keep telling you. So this is the way you start learning. And you do a couple of times, you'll learn it. So it will get internalized. So then there is a quiz. If you feel that you're a beginner, then you can strike this. You can remove these. And then it will ask you a question. Then you answer it and submit the quiz. Let's say I do this. Submit the quiz. Score 0 out of 1. It's not correct. Okay. So suppose I again go back here and then I redo it again. So it will get a score. So if you feel you are in intermediate or advanced, it will give you more and more questions. You can do it and submit, and it will evaluate you. So this is one. This is the quiz at the end of it. So this same sequence is there in all the optimized bubble sort. For example, here again the same thing. Aim. Then you have got optimization technique. So you have a video here because it is the harder part of uh, bubble quiz.
Sure, video is not audible to us. The next 5 to 10 minutes we'll close the session. It's about two
Sure,
hours.
sure, sure, sure. So this is broadly, you can go through this. I mean, each of you.
Yes, we'll
That
go
is
through it, and each one of us has to finish 15 experiments, right, after this
right, right, right.
meeting and submit the feedback form.
Yeah,
That
you can either
uh,
do the experiment or browse it.
sure, sure, we'll
Okay,
do
so
it.
the choice is yours. And the feedback form, do I need to go through, or you can share it because
You have shared a link to us that we need to fill, or else we have to give a feedback which is already aligned in this experiment.
so there are two links that I gave you.
Huh?
Let me see, the two links I gave you. I think where is that other one? This one, I think. Yeah, one second. Just open that mail and then it will become clear for you. Sorry. Yeah, this is the mail. So I sent you when I sent you the mail. I think it's Kiet, right? This is the one I think. Yeah, yeah. This is the one I sent you, right?
Yes.
In one second. So in this thing, I'll just make it. So in this, I have given you this student feedback link.
Hmm.
This link you have to give it to the students or whoever is doing. Okay. So they will fill up this form. For example, record email is required or not. Then you write full name. Let's say I will write P. Ravi Shankar. One student or faculty. Let's say I'm student. And then department. Let's say I'm computer science or mechanical engineering actually. Okay. Doesn't matter. I mean, you just hit test. My roll number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say. So lab. So my what? Please provide the details of each lab, each of the experiments performed by you in the following format. So it's just a. You just say yes. You just say you write here. You write here. Let's say one data structures. So you write like that. Then how many virtual experiments you want? Like you write, you can write out some. If you don't write, also it doesn't matter. So now if you come here, first you go here. Say you do. Let's say you want to do 10 experiments. Okay. So what you do is at each experiment you write out which is the sorry. First one, I'm going to write data structures. It allows me here. So I'm going to write out data structures here. I don't know, something maybe I don't have the access to this because I'm logged in with a different this one. So then please outline the challenges. So if when doing the experiments you have had some challenges, you can put the thing here and then you can submit it.
I
So
mean,
if
for each and every experiment, we need to submit this feedback form, or else
no,
whoever.
you can keep it open.
Hmm?
You can keep it open and as many. Suppose you're doing 5 experiments now.
Hmm.
You see, I'm saying doing or browsing both are same for me.
Hmm.
So I will do 5 and then I will submit it. Then again,
Just
then
under data structure, I can keep the number of experiments I have done, right?
yeah,
For example, right now we have practiced data structure under it. We have practiced one experiment like bubble sort.
yeah, you can write data structures bubble sort. You can write.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you fill that up, it will allow you to. It will take all the data and then you submit it.
Okay, sir.
So now it has not taken submission because I have not entered certain details here. I have not answered anything here.
Uh-huh.
So if you don't have any answer, it's not a mandatory thing, but this is mandatory. I have not filled anything here. So
Mm-hmm.
when I submit it, it won't take. It will say that
Okay.
you have not done this and
Mm-hmm.
something. You fill up whatever is required. Okay. So I'm not getting into that. It's a very
Sir,
micro.
what about the feedback form that is coming with the experiments list? Experiment?
No. Now this is only for the students.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's go back to the mail. This is the NC coordinator. You are the coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Once you click on this, the same form will open, but with the responses link and the settings link. What I have filled has not come here because it didn't take the submission because I didn't fill the detail. But once it is filled, then automatically the number of responses will appear here. So if you click onto this, that shows you a view in sheets. So it will open up the entire thing in an Excel sheet
Okay.
where all the details, the timestamp, when this was feedback was taken, what is the email ID, what is the name, all that you have filled there, you see, right? Whether you're a faculty or a student, everything it will take. And so it will show you all these things. So if you go to this row, how many experiments have you done? Number will be, it will give that number. So you can go down here and just add it up. Or I will add a formula if required. Otherwise, you can just do sum. So from so and so date to so and so date, how many have been done? You can find out. And if there are anything that he has filled that I have some challenges and all that will come here. So every time you go to the form, you can do this. Now, if you find that if anybody complains that it's not allowing me a second time, then just go to settings. You can only do this. Huh? Others cannot do because you are the nodal coordinator, whoever is there. So if you go to responses, limit to one response. If I on this, then it will not allow a person to do a second time, the same person. But if you off this, the same person can come and do different experiments at different times and enter. Okay, so this is with you. Only you can do this, and only you can access the responses and get the data on the Excel sheet. Okay, So this is how the form will be used, and you can share the link to the form, the first one which I told you, this form, this one, sorry, student one.
Second one. Yeah.
Please share this link widely with your students so that they can record the experiments performed. So this link is what you share with everybody. Now these 15 people who are there, or 15 or 20 experiments that your 10 or 12 participants are there, you can give them this link only.
Sure, sure.
Students and faculty, it is the same. So when you look at the whole thing, then it will come on, then you have to use this link. Okay, and you have to log in using this ID, email ID, for which it will open that link is revati100.triple@gmail.com. So these are the IDs that you have given in the expression of interest. And there is a guideline document. If you see this, it gives you a complete detail of all the different activities that an NC should do, with all the links and everything it will give you. Okay, what you need for a support and things like that. Then if you go back again to this, and there are some videos that we have created which will help you to, it's called how to videos. So what are virtual labs, how to become a nodal center, how to submit a feedback form, for example. Whatever I have shared with you, it is there in YouTube here. Can you hear it?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So you can see these videos. My idea basically was to tell you that you can use this how to videos.
Sure, sir.
And
We'll
how do
watch.
you use the workshop tracker? I'm not sharing the workshop tracker with you right now because it is not set up. Because unless I give you the nodal coordinator appointment letter, this workshop tracker will not give you a number, an identification number. It's called the nodal center ID. That will come only once the Venkatesh is out of station, so he has to come back and sign that letter. The
Okay.
letters are made, so
Okay.
only when he signs it and I enter it into the, I upload it into the system, it will allow you, it will assign a number to you.
Okay.
So I have already entered all your details, but this upload is, it is waiting for. Once the upload is there, then I can set it up and I will send you the details. Already sent you the tracker link is already there with you. Then this is the certificate. These are the guidelines for the certificate. If you want to give a certificate, what are the guidelines? So what are the type of certificate, eligibility criteria, modes of experiment doing, all the everything is given here. You can read this and you can customize it, the number of experiments which will, that a student needs to do to become eligible. I have written 25 here. You can put anything you want. Okay, the choice is yours. A general guideline only. Then if you go down here, this is the certificate template. So this is how I showed you the same thing. It is for us. It is written here, Dr. Venkatesh Chopala, participating investigator, virtual labs triple ID Hyderabad. Here you'll write head of the institution Kelly. You will write the name of your whoever is authorized to sign this, and then you write so and so Kiet College or Kakinada Institute of Engineering and Technology, or whatever, and you can write Kakinada somewhere here. So here you have to write the name of the student on top, their name of the student, and you have to write down participating how many experiments, 25, 30, 50, whatever. Like suppose you have both, you create this 10-day slot and you also take that. So a person may have done 40 experiments. You give him credit for 40. This is equal to person hours. So every, according to the guideline, every experiment, if he has to sincerely do it, he will take about an hour. So number of experiments into 1 hour each will give you the number of person hours. So if you want, you can change that figure also. It's left to you. And the duration when the work, this was done from so and so date to so and so date. Because see, date is very important. See, as an interviewer, I have done so many interviews. I am very interested in whether a person is doing these 10 experiments or 25 experiments in 1 year or whether he is doing it in 10 days. If he's doing in 1 year, it's a common skill. I don't care about the certificate, it makes no sense to. But if he's doing in 10 days, that means very concerted effort he has put in. So I'll give him more credit to that. So this is the certificate. So I'll close this, you can take a look. And then this is the workshop tracker. I'll just have given the link, all right. So I'll share my this with you, how it looks like. So this is how it looks like. See, it's got a serial number and it's got a NCID, that is each institute. MGIT, for example, 196 is its ID. If you go to Mathur Street, it's 207. If you go to Shantiram Engineering College, it is 883. Like this, you will have IDs. And then you will have the nodal center. The email ID is whatever you have given in the this one. As long one in the UI, once the virtual lab letter is there and I upload it, it will give me this number corresponding to your college. So once that is there, then we will make an entry of your ID and set up this workshop for you. But only when only when you log in with that ID which is given here, you will be able to make changes to this. So this is the place where you're going to upload all your data instead of sending it by mail, putting it, all that mess is not there. You just upload this one itself. So there is a recorded date when you have recorded this one. Then when the workshop actually happened, it may be the same or it may be different. It's up to you. For example, you have done the workshop on one date and you are actually, uploading this on another date or whatever. Okay, so then number of labs that you have planned to do in that workshop, and what is the usage recorded, what are the participants, how many participants are there. Then this link essentially is a drive which you keep on in your own this one. This is, for example, Spurti College, Engineering College. This is the document that they have uploaded saying that workshop on 6/3/24, 87 students participated and 10 faculty participated, and there are 70 usages. That means they didn't do the experiments properly. That is why it is only 70. So this is the letter, and this will be signed by the head of the institution or any authorized person. So this is the ministry wants some kind of a validation of what of the data that we are giving, because when there is a, let's say, an RTI or anything which is launched by anybody, they must have a basis to say that virtual labs is being used by so many people or whatever. So they want some kind of an authorization. So they take this, and whatever virtual lab feedback is there, photos are there, this thing, that thing, or attendance, all that is the basis on which you are giving this letter. So for us, this is a single point responsibility of this. So you put it into your drive somewhere, and then you just give the link to the drive with an access to us, that is IOCs-IIITH, the ID, from the ID from which I write mails to you, that one. So this way, if you do, then you will get this one. And sorry, just 1 minute. So then, so this is the link for this one. Then you've got attendance link. This attendance and reports both have to be in PDF format. And then you'll have photographs. For example, the photograph of the workshop. Any 2 photographs are enough. See, for example, this is the photograph he has given. He has put in a Word document and given to us. It's a PDF. But it has to be JPG. See, so many photos they have added here. See here. So if you go to the common WhatsApp portal also, so many people, so many colleges are putting up. So this is a workshop, for example. So we just need 2 photos. We don't need photo 1 and photo 2. There will be 2 photos. That is enough for us. You can send them, you can just upload 2 photos. That is enough for each workshop. So once you do this, then you can just, submit it. So this is the end of the thing. So these 3 things, photographs, drive, and this. So these 2 have to be in PDF. This has to be in JPG. Or you can give it as a PDF also. So this is how it is. So now suppose I select, let us say I take MGIT. This one is, this is 196. So suppose I go here and say NCID is the search criteria and I put 196. It will give you all MGIT entries. In 2024, they gave 15,880. In 2025, there's a 405 usage one. There's an 18,126 number of participants. So this is basically, it's telling you, for example, here again, if you want to see other reports also, you can see. For example, you want to see photographs, you can see them. So he has given so many photographs here. He has given JPEG. He has not given JPG. All these need to be converted by us. So this is how MGAT college, they're doing the experiment. So here all the details are there given here. So basically what I'm saying is this is a single repository, and all the work that you are going to do in virtual labs all will be a single point reference for you. Any number of years, your data will be there. This and all your base data is there with you only. You're only giving us links. Hello.
Yes, sir. Understood. Understood. Yes, sir.
So this I have not yet shared with you right now because simple reason that we are still not yet we have not got the approval as yet.
Hmm.
So where is that? Yeah. So the go here. So that is this is what I have to share with you. So if you have any questions now, I can take. I think I've shared everything with you, whatever I
Yes,
need.
yes, yes. We'll walk through all the links that you have shared to us.
Yeah.
Um, and any questions from our team, like Ram Kiran Garu and the other members who have joined in this meeting?
No, madam. All points are clear, madam.
Okay, then, sir, can we close the session? If we have
Yeah.
any doubts, then we'll
I
uh,
have nothing else,
in
ma'am.
touch
Actually, I
with.
think we have
Yeah,
two hours.
just crossed a bit. And thank you so much for explaining the concept so clearly. And thank you. Um, Thanks to Professor Venkatesh Garu for connecting you all, sir.
Yeah, I'll convey it to him. Surely.
Thank you. On behalf of Kite, we appreciate your support. And can we take it from today? Our partnership begins, and we are happy to move forward
Yeah,
together.
yeah. So that letter is only formality. You don't have
Yes,
to
yes, yes.
worry about that. Huh?
Thank you. Thank you for making
Thank
it
you, sir.
making us making Kite Group be
Thank you,
part
sir.
of this
Yeah, I'm
organization.
also
Thank
very
you,
happy to
everyone.
talk to you. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone, for joining today's for
Bye
virtual.
bye. Thanks,
Thank you, ma'am.
everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.